Hello and welcome back to another episode of Unboxed in season 4, where we have already had some amazing athletes share their story with us. Now, on today's episode, we have another unbelievable athlete who has had an early career riddled with injuries, but this self-proclaimed nerd shares her lessons in how she got through and making use of all the challenges along the way. I'm super excited for you guys to delve into this one to understand who we have. Now, I'm putting her as an Irish legend, she won't say it herself. But today we're joined by Ireland's one and only Aoife Wafer, youngest ever player to hold the Guinness Six Nations Player of the Tournament, part of that team, and she is pushing to get back to play for her new club Harlequins and also be a part of that first British and Irish Lions tour in 2027. Enjoy the episode, subscribe while you're listening, it's easy as that, but until the next one, stay unboxed. Guys, welcome back to another episode of Unboxed, and I am so excited to be joined by one of Ireland's just absolute legends. She has showcased what she can do on and off the rugby field, but everyone knows her as Aoife Wafer. Welcome to the pod, how are you?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks very much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
I'm so excited to have you because, honestly, you've just, I don't say you've sprung on the scene, but you announced you were here and you were just like, come on lads, let's go.
Yeah, it's a bit mad, because I got my first cap and then there was kind of like a massive break in between my first and second cap just with injuries and that kind of thing. And then from there, I've just been like, nah, I have these goals that I want to work towards. And I've just used every resource that I can get my hands on to try and get those goals. So yeah, it has been a bit of a mad one, to be honest, and one that I probably haven't sat down and appreciated fully just yet.
Oh well, maybe you never know. We'll maybe get through it a bit through this, and then we can reflect at the end and have a really deep philosophical. Be
Yeah,
like, "Whoa,
literally.
that's been some journey." But easy one, right? If you had to describe your journey so far, like one word, what would you say?
I feel like roller coaster, but I feel like that's a bit of a cop out. I feel like everyone would probably use roller coaster because that's just a high performance daily word. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
God, yeah, I
I
feel like
will
roller.
accept roller coaster,
Yeah,
and if you can
we'll
give
stick
an
with that.
example of a roller coaster that it resembles, then
God, yeah, one with a lot of twists and turns, I reckon. Surprises. Yeah,
oh, it's like the one in Disneyland Paris. Like, what is it, Space Mountain, where it's like you don't know what's going to come around the corner.
literally 100%. Yeah, exactly. Don't know what's going to come around the corner. When you think you have it solved, it's like, nah, back you go. So yeah.
Surprise! Okay, so we're going with Space Mountain roller coaster from Disneyland Paris. So here for that. We will just get straight into the Unboxed 11. Start here, and who knows where the conversation is going to go. So, what's one word your teammates would use to describe you?
On pitch or off pitch?
Either or both.
Uh, on pitch, probably I'm gonna go with powerful. Off pitch, probably like a nerd. I feel like they'd probably call me a nerd. Yeah, probably something like that. Because yeah, I take huge pride in the skills that I do by myself and what I need to do to get myself in a position to be able to perform at the weekend or even if it's in a rehab basis, how much research I do into my injury, which is not helpful from a knowing what's wrong, but it's also really helpful because I'm basically my own case study because I study physiotherapy. So yeah, it has its pros and cons, but yeah, I'm gonna go with nerd.
Okay, I can't wait to see this thesis or the dissertation at the end. It's going to be class case study of myself.
Literally.
Um, what's something people often misunderstand about you?
um, I feel like I'm a lot shyer than what people think. Because yeah, I feel like if you were to listen to me talk and all that kind of thing, you'd be like, God, yeah, she's real confident. But then if I don't do what I do in the week, or if I don't do my skills or my prep, or if I don't nail my nutrition or any of these things, I'm like, oh my God, what's I don't know what's gonna happen. But if I control it all, then I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm sorted for the weekend. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I need to do to be able to help the girls. But yeah, I think all of my kind of confidence comes on the back of knowing that I've done the work. So I'm probably outside of rugby a lot more shy than what people would realize. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Ooh. Um, Probably not a direct like wordy compliment, but I feel like when we played England in Cork and like the place was just rocking, like it was near sellout and like the first half was like ridiculous. Everyone thought we were ahead at half time, which hadn't like it's not really heard of when you come to the likes of England and you're playing rugby. And at the end of the game, I was going around the stadium signing different things, and there were a bunch of kids with red scrum caps, and their parents were just like, "You're their hero," and I was like that's yeah, it's like it's just you just can't describe it, and you can't, and like if you could bottle it, you'd be a millionaire, but like yeah, like it's just an insane feeling because like I think like it's funny because like I obviously grew up in sports, and like I have my own role models, and it's really weird like because they now come to my games and like the Ireland's games, and they're now kind of like looking up to us, whereas like I still look up to them. And like they never even realized that little 6 year old Aoife was watching all of their games and being like, yeah, I really want to be like them. And now it's just like there's kids now that look up to me and being like, yeah, I want to be like her. And it's yeah, it's a bit surreal, but it's a hard one to describe, to be honest.
Oh, I love that. And that's where it's like that whole like full circle just comes back around, and that's probably one of the beauties about sport as well.
100%.
Getting to experience that. But we're definitely going to delve into that a bit later on, so can't wait. I'm already so excited for this, honestly, like it's going to be so good. What's one song that gets you in the zone?
Do you know what? I actually have a really weird
Where is
like
this going?
like as in so like pre-game, like so Brittany Hogan is usually in charge of the speaker in the change room, that kind of thing. She'd be like bombing out music, and like she's really good, to be fair. She's proper good. If you get an Evo Dowd, you're kind of
Oh,
screwed. Like she's a odd taste of music. But yeah, no, like I like on the bus over and even like in the hotel, I'd probably just be listening to the likes of like Kingfisher or Amble or Noah Khan or something. And it's really chill, which I think would surprise a lot of people. But for me, like it's literally like, oh, well, I have the work done. I know what I'm going to do. I don't need to get hyped up just yet because like the bus journey over could be 10 minutes and that's just wasted energy. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll just stay chill right now. But like, I feel like one song that probably means a lot to me is probably Killer by Kingfisher because like just the way that we kind of took over the song during the World Cup, and it kind of became like ours. And then we actually got to go to a Kingfisher kind of like concert ish thing, and it was
I
so
seen
cool just
that.
hearing them live. It was absolutely amazing. But yeah, and then between those and then the girls, I think they kind of just like leave me be. But like I love to play a bit of like trad on the way
Oh
over. So
yes.
I'll be like bombing out trad music in on my headphones, and like I'll have like my phone and I'll just be like playing the music. Um, but yeah, I'm always just like bopping to a bit of trad in the corner of the bus. Yeah, other
It's
than
like the
other than
calm
ambling
store, calm before the storm vibe. It's like
yeah,
you're
literally,
building up into it. Oh, like there's just nothing better than Irish freaking music. It's so good. Ah,
literally. When you get a good song, you're like, yeah, I'm ready now.
I know that's like I try and explain to people. We're getting sidetracked already, and I'm here for it. But I try and explain to people just how good it is. Like if you get like a trad band in a pub on
Oh,
like
literally.
what
Yeah,
an evening,
100%.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Anywho, the next one. Who's been the biggest influence on your career so far?
Probably my mom, but I feel like that's a very common answer. But like, yeah, she's just been like the best. Supported me through a lot of different injuries, has taken the heat through a lot of different injuries, like kind of being my outlet for a lot of different things. And when I was younger, I don't think I fully appreciated the work that she had to do because I have four siblings and we all played like a multitude of sports. Like it was never only rugby. All played a variety of different instruments, and herself and dad like would drive us all over the country as long as we were happy. And they honestly didn't care. They were just like if they're happy and this is making them smile, then that's all that matters. So yeah, probably her.
Shout out to Mrs. Wafer because I'm here for the woman. What's the best advice you've received so far?
I do love the one like if like you play your best rugby or you play your best in sports, like when you're just having a bit of crack, because I feel like now a bit of fun that is, but
Yeah, to clarify for those outside of the aisle,
yeah,
crack is another word for like fun, how
yeah, a
you're
bit of
doing,
fun,
how
yeah,
you think, any of the above, not what
yeah,
you think.
yeah, but yeah, no, because like I went through so many times where I was like, no, like be really serious, and like even like building up to my first cap, like it was unbelievable. But I put so much pressure on myself to be a player that I wanted to be, and like I probably didn't enjoy all those little moments as much as I should have, because I was like just so fixated on one thing. And looking back on it, I'm like, geez, you should have just had a bit more crack, like, because like those moments don't happen again. Like once they're done and they're just a memory. But yeah, like I think literally like I'm playing some of my best rugby right now, and I don't think I'm anywhere near a finished product. But like it's literally just because I'm having such good crack.
I can't wait to see when the crack just keeps going and you become that finished product, because I would be shit scared if I have someone else playing you. Um, okay, 3 things you can't live without. I'm curious where you go with this.
Ooh, probably a device. I don't mind if it's my phone or my laptop, because, like I said, I'm a bit of a nerd. So I literally do a rake of research on different things, whether it's rugby or whether it's college or university or that kind of thing. So probably one of those. Music, and ooh, third one. I do love food, but I feel like I take a nap over food. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big call.
I love sleep, yeah. But like it's so good for recovery, you know? So I do love
Priorities. If you could have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
ooh. Um that is a good one. God, I don't even know an answer for that one. I'm gonna say from a rugby term, probably Rich McCaw from a back row, like Kiwi back row. And if it was personal, probably my nan. I'd say I'd bring her back and have a dinner.
Oh, and the naan dinner is probably the best.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Probably. What's been your proudest moment of your career so far?
Ooh, I've had a couple to be fair, but because like you could always say first cap, you could always say like all these like all the different kind of accolades, but like genuinely, I think my proudest moment is my second cap, because I'd come back from, I think it was over 560 days since I like between my first and second cap, um, and the second cap was we were playing Spain. I just got back from an injury, um, and 2 days before, like 2 nights before, my gran passed away. So I was out in Dubai. My mom and my sister were out in Dubai with me, and like I still like vividly remember the day that they were there, and how they told me and how like we kind of found out and how we dealt with it. But literally just the support that I got from the girls, the support I got from the management, and then just to kind of know that like she was on her deathbed, and like dad was at home, and he was there saying that like she was literally like batting the nurse's way, being like, "Did she get back on the team? Is she gonna play?" And dad was like, "Yeah,
Oh,
she's playing, like she's picked." But like knowing that she knew that I got back into a green jersey is something that like I'll be forever proud of. So yeah, I'd say that's probably one of my proudest moments, like getting back from those injuries and then knowing that she knew I got back into a green jersey.
that is like, it's just that warms my heart.
Mm.
Shout out for the nans. But yeah, that's pretty special. And one that you can definitely be proud of.
Mm, love to.
One experience that significantly shaped who you are.
Probably that injury. Yeah, like tore my hamstring, like completely ruptured it. I literally got my first cap versus Italy. Was one of the highlights of my career. Like first caps always are when it's for your country and all that kind of thing. And my sister was getting her first cap for the under 18 side same weekend, and then that week, um, it's like it was kind of the fall week in Six Nations, so we went back to train with sevens, and I was like, right, I'm eyeing up I want to start against England. I was like, that's my next goal. And then a couple of days after my first cap, I ruptured my hamstring. So it was literally like you're on cloud nine. I was like, nah, back down you go. And then was out for, I don't know, like over 560 days to my second cap. And like went through a lot of different kind of difficulties physically, but also like extreme difficulties mentally as well. And like it's probably at the time I was like, God, like I genuinely don't know how I'm going to get out of this. But um, like looking back on it now, I'm like, yeah, it was probably one of the best things to happen to me, even though it was shit. Like I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but genuinely, I think it's made me a better player and a better person. Mm.
I love that. And the final one of the Unboxed 11, what does it mean being unboxed to you?
Just being yourself, really, isn't it? Like for me, it's probably just like no matter what group you go into, it's just being you because like at the end of the day, like there is only one you, so why bother trying to be someone else? Like and yeah, like then in a rugby sense, like it's just doing what I love, like yeah, working on weaknesses and all that kind of crack, but like you might as well work on your strengths too and make them stronger. So yeah, like doing all those little skills is just something that I really enjoy, even if I look like a right gobshite doing it. Like it's just it what works for me, and like I don't mind as long as it translates to the pitch. So yeah, it's probably just being yourself in no matter what environment you're in, and then just doing what you love because like I said earlier, like you're going to do your best when you're just having a bit of fun.
I love that perspective. I think it's so, I don't want to say almost simple, but simplicity works majority of the time. And people kind of think they have to be someone else and this big character going into these like really, yeah, loud, boisterous environments. But actually, you probably as a person, do you feel you get more respect when you actually just are yourself in that
Oh,
environment?
yeah, because I feel like no matter what environment you go into, like if you're pretending to be someone else, like you can't like people see through it very quickly, like you know, and like it's just easier to be yourself because like why would you want to be anybody else? Like yeah, like it's you definitely just get a bit more respect, and like when you're just having a bit of fun, like with the group, or like you're just yeah, like at the end of the day, it's like I said earlier, like things happen and you can't redo them, you can't relive them, like they just become memories. So why not just make good memories and just be yourself doing it? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Easier said than done. But what we're
Yeah.
going to do is we're going to throw it all the way back. This is my rugby ball. To growing up in Wexford. You've already mentioned, so like you, your siblings, really big into sport, parents ferried you around the country. At what point, like, did you realize that, like, sport was for you? That this was like who you want or what you wanted to go into?
Yeah, very very early. Yeah, like I always loved sports, loved running around, loved everything about sports. Whether it was individual sports, team sports, no matter what it was, I was involved. So like my siblings and I grew up playing like GA. We grew up playing rugby, obviously, did athletics, swimming, like the whole shebang, and like surf, lifesaving, everything we could throw our hand at. We were just like, yeah, grand, let's try it. And yeah, like even from the time I could walk, like my mom still laughs and she reckons that like it's probably made me a bit hardier as a player. But like my brothers would like drag me outside, and like I was barely taking steps at this stage. It put me in the goal and they'd be like, right, let's see if she can save any, and like just take pot shots on me. So like sports has always been in my life. And like I said, I have four siblings, and like the amount of arguments in the house, don't get me wrong, was insane. Like I don't know how we're all still alive, to be honest. But yeah, like it I think kind of like spurted that bit of real competitiveness, because like anyone who has siblings knows that like you just can't let them get one up on you.
Never.
And it's still the same to this day. Like I took that into school life as well, so I kind of took it to a bit of an extreme, I'm not gonna lie. But because nobody else, I don't think was competing with me, because they were like, we don't care about school.
No,
But like I was just like, no, I'm taking this next level with sports, with school, with absolutely everything. And no matter what I was doing, I wanted to be the best. And like yeah, even in sports that I was shocking at, like I am no great swimmer, but I was still like, I want to be the best. Even if I was like, you're swimming out in the sea and everyone else would finish, and I'm still like, I'm going to get, like, I'm going to get.
I'm coming.
Yeah, but yeah, like it's something that like has just always been in me since I was a kid. And even then, when I started playing with teams, I was always on the lads teams, and it's a tough one when you're a young girl because like it's probably similar growing up in terms of like the boys don't want to pass to you, they don't want to tackle you, like they don't do all these things. But I guess for me it was like, right, I'm just going to show them then, because like once you do get the ball, if the ball is dropped and there's a bit of a scrap, like you pick it up and you go score a try, and it's like, we don't want to let the girl score another try. So then all of a sudden it's like, right, we have to tackle her. And then like I think you do earn that bit of respect then, even as a young child, from your teammates, like no matter what that sport is. Because like I even remember like the stories being told of like, we'd go and we'd play other teams. So like you kind of have blitzes and that kind of thing. And the coaches on the other teams would be laughing. They'd be like, "Oh, there's a girl on the wing, like run down the run down the wing, and that kind of thing." And our coaches would stand there, like fold their arms and just go on, I dare you. The lads would do it, and they wouldn't come down the wing again. And it is that thing of like people, like even that was the coaches of a kids team, and they're like, "Oh, it's a girl," like, and you're like, "Yeah, and what?" Like, do you know? So you do earn that bit of respect, and I think even like my coaches saw it from a young age, and they just saw that bit of competitiveness and that bit of edge and just that want to really really drive and get better. So yeah, like I think sports has literally just always been in my life, and like I don't think I'd have it any other way. Yeah, it's probably, I probably should have thrown that in my three things to out full.
Sports.
Yeah.
Just like, will always be there. Sports. Completely agree. But do you think that whenever you were younger, like, did you imagine yourself actually like living the life of a professional athlete representing your country? Was that ever anything you could almost picture and like see for yourself?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like even so like when I first started rugby, I was 6, and it was because my brothers made a deal with my mom that if they finished swim lessons they could go play rugby. So she had to kind of keep up her end of the deal when they did finish them. But it meant that she would drag myself and my two younger siblings to Gorey on a wet or a windy Sunday morning, no matter what the weather. We were stuck in the clubhouse, and I pestered and pestered to go out and play. And she was like, "There's no girls' team, you can't play." But then eventually, I think I turned around to her, like 6-year-old me, and I was like, "Look, I'd be better off running around out there than getting cold in here." And she was like, "Yeah, okay, that's fair." So the following week, I was out playing, and literally from day dot, like I was like, "Yeah, I want to play for Ireland." And at the time, like I was so fresh into rugby, and I was just like, "Yeah, there's no women's team. I'm just going to play for the men's team." And
I love
like
that.
it was very much like, I'm just going to play for Ireland. And my mom and dad kind of like were like, "Gosh, yeah, we're gonna show the girl that there is a pathway to play for the international women's team." So like they would bring me to Ashburn, to Donnybrook, to wherever the games were. They'd drive me there, and we'd spend a day just out watching women's rugby. And like genuinely, I've photo albums of me with past players, and it's funny because like a few photos obviously resurface like as the years go on. But
Yeah.
even like I got a Facebook from my dad last night, and it was like, "Oh, 11 years ago you were playing in the RDS at halftime minis." And I was like, "Oh geez, yeah, it doesn't feel like 11 years ago." Or even like we've a game now in the Six Nations in the Aviva, and it's against Scotland. And in 2014 was the first and only time that the women's international fixture for rugby has played there. But I was there as a 9-10 year old, and like I literally got a photo from mom and was like, "Oh yeah, like this is you like at the Aviva watching Ireland play there for the first and only time, and now you've the chance to do it." So yeah, like it is that kind of like you said earlier, like a full circle moment. But yeah, no, like I always envisioned myself either playing for Ireland if it was rugby, or like I always wanted to play for Wexford, but eventually the time came where you can't do everything. So yeah, rugby was kind of always the one.
It's just like I'm literally just thinking of like little you at this like at the pitch, and then now going back to play there. I'm like, that must feel so surreal to be like, like I've achieved this. I've achieved my lifelong dream, or well, like my childhood dream of getting here.
Yeah, it is a bit of a mad one. Like I think with a lot of these things I probably haven't fully appreciated like the magnitude of how much I've actually done.
Yeah, you're
Like
still young. It's okay.
yeah, exactly. I'm only
Yeah.
22, so hopefully there's a few more moments down the road.
Whoa, I'd like to hope so.
But yeah, no, like it is a crazy one. And like it is funny because you meet young kids and they just have the same dreams. And for me, it was always very important to me, and it still is extremely important in terms of like when I was a kid, the men's team weren't accessible, and they probably still aren't really at the minute. Like the Leinster team do a lot of kind of traveling. They don't go to different clubs around the country, and they're very good for that. But the Irish men's team is very much like if you're a kid, you probably only see them on the telly, and they become like real like heroes. It's like, oh, they're just on the telly. It's like, whoa, and all of that kind of crack. Whereas for me, I've always been of the opinion that like, no, I don't want to be that. It's like getting into coaching and all this crack and getting down to clubs and just being like I'm just a normal person. And it's like to me, like I get a lot of crack or a lot of fun and pride in terms of like when I go down to coach, it's just like, oh yeah, that's just Aoife, instead of like, oh, that's Aoife Wafer, do you know? And like it's better that way, I think, because it's more tangible, and they realize, okay, yeah, like she's come from here and she's come from a club that isn't very big, and she's worked all the way up to an international stage, and she's playing with some of the best people in the world now. Like it's just like, yeah, she's a normal person, do you know? But like you meet kids and it's like, yeah, I want to play for Ireland, I want to go do this, I want to do that, and I'm like, do you know what, let's do it. It's like, what do I need to help? And it's very much like, oh, like if I meet them and we're leaving, it's like, oh, I might play alongside you in a green jersey day someday. I might play alongside you in a Leinster jersey or a Queen's jersey. Who knows where I'll be at that stage? But like there is always that dream, and it's like, what can I do to help the next generation?
I love that perspective of how it's almost like that saying, you can take, say, the girl out of Wexford, but you can never take Wexford out of the girl. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the same for us. Like it's the same for me. Like you can take me out of Lauren, but you'll never take Lauren out of me.
Hmm.
And it's those people who have like started that journey and seen you from the beginning, that they're able to actually really see you for who you are in this journey. But they'll also be the first people to probably call you out and be like, "Don't get too big for your bits now."
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. That's why I have siblings and parents. Yeah. Like, well, yeah, I'd easily get a phone call from one of my siblings or like my parents, and they'd be like, nah, you're still crap. So I'd be like, yeah, yeah, no matter. Yeah. Grand.
I know they'd be like, "Remember that time you dropped it? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
me today."
literally, yeah. Or even like we had a training session versus Barnhall in prep for some game. I think it was like a Six Nations kind of window, and we were prepping. My brother just happened to be on the Barnhall team, and he dropped the ball a few times, and I remember being like, we'll chat about that over dinner, don't worry. But like it very much is always reciprocated, and like when I go home at Christmas, I'm sure there'll be a lot of slagging. And even though I haven't even played for Quinja, like last game I played was that French quarter final, and I'm sure they'll still think something to bring me back down. So oh god, yeah, there's never a chance to get too big for your boots in Ireland, I don't think.
Definitely not, and I cannot wait to hear what your siblings say that first game for Quins. I'm so here for it
Yeah.
already.
Oh god, I can already imagine what's going to be said.
Dangerous, dangerous space, dangerous space. But here, tell us about your journey and how you actually get into playing for, like getting into play for Ireland. Because so many people, yes, they see you now playing for Ireland, but they don't realize the journey that goes with that. What was your journey like?
Yeah, so in Ireland, we're actually lucky enough to have a pretty good pathway. So like you start your underage clubs. Like I started with Gorey, played with them until I was about 12. Then they didn't have a girls team, so I had to move to Enniscorthy, which is a bit of a rival club, but like it was the perfect thing for me at the time, and I loved my time there. So yeah, they're both my home clubs. And then I suppose when I was 15, I trialed out for the Southeast team. So Leinster is lucky to have a really good pathway. And they have basically Leinster split up into, I think it's 5 areas. And it means that girls from club teams, if you're good enough, you'll get basically sent on by your coaches, and you get to try it out for these different area teams. And thankfully, when I was 15, I made the under 18s team, and it was the first time that I even started playing back row, because I was really small, I was really bossy, and I loved getting my hands on the ball and trying to make things happen. So I played as like a 9 or a 10 or a centre or in the back three or anything, because I was a bit faster back then, because I was a little bit lighter as well. But yeah, then as soon as I went for these trials, they were like, no, you're in too many rucks. So we're going to put you in the back row. We'll see how it goes. So I was like, yeah, grand, sure. It means I can hit more things. Um, so, yeah, like literally. And I was
I
like, you know,
love that.
um, and yeah, literally from there, kind of just rocketed. Like played with Southeast 15 to 18 years old, and as well like you progressed to Leinster as well. So played with Leinster when I was 15. I played sevens and 15s, progressed to Ireland under 18s, played sevens and 15s, and I was fortunate to even captain the Leinster under 18s team and be on the first ever Interpro winning team with Leinster. And like looking back on that, it's insane because like we we had an extremely talented team. Like, and to be honest, like I think we counted it one day, and I think there was nearly like 20 internationals or something that have gone on to get caps for Ireland. And it's like literally your likes of Aoife Dalton, your Dan O'Brien, Vicky Ams Kinlan, Katie Whelan, Ruth Campbell, like Erin King, like all of these just on one team at under 18s, and we're still playing together as an international senior side and trying to take on the world. Like, so it's insane. But yeah, then went on captained the Irish under 18s against Scotland. And then when I finished my leaving cert, I got a call. Well, my mom got a call and was like, yeah, because I was still like 17. But
Yeah, classic parental problems.
yeah, so mom got a call and she was like, um, she sat me in the car and I just come out of school and she's like, right, I got this phone call. And I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, it's from the senior Irish coach, the sevens coach, and they want to give you a contract. And I was like, nah, you're having me on. And she was like, no, I'm serious, but you have to go to college. Like, you have to finish school. And I was like, yeah, done. Yeah, no bother. Perfect. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll make that deal for you. So got my first contract, 17, 18 years old. And yeah, literally from there, I've been in the Irish system ever since. And it's a funny one because like I've been contracted ever since. And now I'm over at Quinn's and I'm no longer contracted, so it's like a completely new adventure. But like I'm just loving life so far. But yeah, it's literally been like get my first cap, get injured, like get my second cap, have a couple of big injuries and that kind of thing, and then literally like yeah, just kind of taking it off from there, I guess.
It's literally just insane. Like, how from 15, you've just been this elite performing athlete. But do you, like, back then, whenever you were younger, did you find it hard to be, I'm Aoife the, like, rugby player versus Aoife outside your sport? Or was that always something that was, like, combined for you?
No, I didn't find it hard when I was a kid because I was always just like I'm Aoife the sports person, and like whether that be GA or whether it be swimming and surf life saving or athletics or no matter what it was, I was just like I'm Aoife, I play sports. And I think the only like the first time I really struggled with that was when I got my first long term injury, was which was my hamstring after my first cap, because I was like, damn, if I can't play rugby anymore, then who am I? Like I'm no longer Aoife the Irish international. I'm no longer Aoife the rugby player. I'm just Aoife. And what does Aoife look like if she doesn't have sports? So like it was a journey in trying to find that Aoife, but like it was like I said, like that injury was probably one of the best things to happen to me, even though like it is something that I'd hate to go back to. And if I think I did go back to it, I genuinely don't know how I'd get out of it, because like it was rocky. Like like that's a mild version, but
Yeah, that's to put it
yeah,
politely.
yeah, and like sitting at home and watching your best mates play rugby, or like even just things you take for granted in terms of like I didn't realize it was a bad hamstring tear until like I felt a pop. I was sprinting and I was just like, no, but it could be okay. I was like, we've England in a week. I want to start that game, and I've just got my first cap. There's no way this could be bad. And then went home and we've a recliner chair. Pulled out the chair, was watching rugby obviously on the telly, and went to pull the chair back in with my legs, and I couldn't get it in. And I was like, shit. I was like, this isn't good. I can't get this in. And I literally had to get off it and push it in with my arms. And I was like, this isn't good. And it was that first kind of penny drop of like, God, like I could be out for a while. And then obviously the nerd took over, and I was like, shit, like I could be out for 3 months. And then all of a sudden, like it kept kind of rolling on, and all of a sudden 3 months turned into like what, a year and a half. And like you're without playing rugby for that long, you're without like being on a pitch with your friends, and like it does kind of toss you into a really dark hole. And like for me, I'm just so grateful that like my family was there, that my friends were there, because yeah, like I didn't see a lot of light when I was injured with that injury. But yeah, like I'm very grateful that I got out of it, and like I do think it's given me a different perspective on rugby and on life in general, because like it's not that we take it for granted, but I think being so naive as my first cap, and I was 18, 19 getting my first cap, and I was like, God, yeah, yeah, like, do you know, and I was like I'm ahead of people at my age, like, and yeah, like I'm going to go on and I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and I'm going to reach for this goal and that goal and whatnot, and then all of a sudden you're back to square one, and you can't even walk properly, and like it does give you that thing of like, who am I if I can't play rugby? And like I'm very fortunate that I had different skills to kind of lay back on, whether it was playing music or whether it was going to uni or college or whatever you want to call it, and or like going back into coaching and giving back to rugby in a different format, or like even like I'd go to every game, and I was lucky that I knew how to take photos, so I would take photos, and to me taking photos or like coaching or all that kind of stuff was a way to still be involved in match day, because you do the task where it was coach or take photos, and it was still a way to give back to your team, which is what I was craving because I couldn't do that on the pitch. Um so yeah, like it was an extremely difficult time, and yeah, probably one I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, but like looking back on it, it is that thing of like it's given me so much perspective into to what I now do, and it literally has like shapes everything I do, from like, yeah, I want to be the best in the world as a rugby player, and I want to be XYZ, and like I want to get onto that first ever Lions tour in 27. So if I just sit on my backside, then I'm not going to do that, and it's like every action that I take now is going to affect what I get in tomorrow's session or in 2 years time, like, so like why waste time, because genuinely you don't know what's around the corner, so like just make the most of it right now.
I literally like I just need you to write a lot of that down so then I can just take it and like put it in a book or something. I think your outlook and perspective is so amazing. Like seriously, like it's so impressive because again, so many people who, let alone with one injury or one knockback or even like a small niggle, really struggle to come out and come back and have this amazing outlook. But to hear, like, I literally have goosebumps sitting listening to you because it's like to hear how you went from, as you mentioned earlier, like such a high, getting your first cap, like thinking your head, to then this, yeah, for some people it could be a career-ending injury, and now you're sitting here explaining how and sharing how you felt you wanted to give back and stay connected to the sport, which is just like in itself is amazing. Because I know there's so many people who wouldn't even want to touch a rugby ball or put on a pair of boots or be near a pitch. So I think just your strength that side, but it's also, we can't underestimate the challenges that you have experienced because you're sharing it quite openly, I feel, and you're saying you were able to give back, but that's bloody hard, like to stay strong like that. What did you do? Like, was there anything that you did in those moments where like you were just like, shit, why am I doing this? Like when you're questioning it to really come back and round and remember?
Yeah, like, yeah, there is that those moments where you're like, damn, like I don't want to play rugby anymore, and it's like yeah, I'm giving back to sport, and like, yeah, I'm taking photos and all this crack, but like there were definitely moments where I was like, I don't want to play anymore. It's like I'm done. I don't want to do this side of it anymore. But I guess like then like I've always been quite goal orientated, and I still am very goal orientated, and at the end of the day, like I really reflected on my why, and like why do I want to do it, and why do I want to play, and why do I want to achieve these goals. And I think for me my why was stronger to play than it was to not play, and I think I got more out of the sport than I realized, and that kind of injury really showed me, because like it's grand now, like if I like I'm injured at the minute, and if I don't play for a while, it's like I'm okay with that. But back then it was very much, if I don't play, like I'm gonna have a breakdown, and I'm not gonna be able to do anything, and I'm like, God, what am I gonna do without sports? Whereas now it's just like, okay, like I'll get back. I'm gonna do the work I need to do now to be able to be a better player when I come back, because like, yeah, you could say that cheesy thing of, what is it, every comeback or every setback is a platform for a good comeback or
Oh
something.
yeah.
But like it kind of is true if you want it to be, but you have to put in the work to make that true. You can't just be like, okay, yeah, I've got an injury, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to have a better comeback, because that's not going to happen. It's like, if you have an injury or you have a setback, it's like, what can you do to be able to take yourself to the next level? And for me, it's like your skills, your nutrition, it's like all these things you can control. And it's just like, do not, if you nail all of those things, then when it does come to your chance, like, you're bound to do something good. And I do think, like, even pre-World Cup, like, I absolutely, like, I ruptured my MCL, and there was that moment of like, damn, I'm not going to play in a World Cup. And it's like, that childhood dream, yeah, that's gone, scratch it, like, it's not going to happen. And then once the doc kind of comes in, once physios be like, no, we have a plan, we're going to cut rehab a little bit short, we're going to do X, Y, Z, with professional advice. um but like, it was like, there was a glimmer of hope, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to do that. And I think if I didn't have that long term injury, what is it, like 2, 3 years ago now, I don't think I would have got back for this World Cup, because the amount of like the intensity of the rehab, and the amount of mental pressures and mental kind of like hurdles you to get over was, it's insane. Because like, even sitting at home, you're sitting on a game ready, like an ice machine, which is sitting around your knee, you're scrolling through your phone, and all you can see is the girls at the World Cup opening ceremony, and I'm here like I can barely walk right now, but I'm going to play in a few weeks. It's like,
You did.
yeah,
Pretty
thank
much.
you.
You did indeed. You've mentioned it already. So your journey at this level has been pretty damn rocky, to
It's a
be an
roller coaster.
understatement. But yeah, Space Mountain, here we come. Um, but like, you've had some insane moments. So what was it? The Guinness Six Nations player of the tournament, casual behaviors, making the whole team casual behaviors. Like, how does someone so young achieve something like that with such a rocky career?
um, I honestly couldn't tell you, to be honest. Probably just hard work. um, like, yeah, like, I do think, like anything I've earned is off the basis of what the team have afforded me, and what kind of like my parents have afforded me, my family, because I genuinely wouldn't be here without any of them. And even on a rugby pitch, like, yeah, like, I might make line breaks, or I might get a couple of tries, or make a couple of hits or turnovers, whatever. But like, that's off the back of, one, like, what the team allow me to do and what they trust me and back me to do. But it's off the back of a lot of hard work as well, because like, I don't think anybody that gets those kind of accolades just sits on their backside and goes like, yeah, it's like, well done. Do you know, it's always off the back of like countless hours of fitness, or countless hours of doing a certain skill that you might be really crap at, but and you fail a million times at, but then all of a sudden you start nailing it, and it's that kind of bit of like, yeah, like, I have this, so if I have to do it in a game, like, grand, yeah, no problem. Like I said, I don't think I've properly reflected on the likes of those accolades. Like I said, the Guinness Six Nations Player Championship, like, I'm the first ever Irish person to win it, and I'm the youngest ever holder. And like,
Snaps to
it's
that, sorry. Holy shit, snaps to that, everyone.
insane, like,
Whoa.
because like, I'm 22, and like, like, yeah, it's been a dream, but like, it's taken a hell of a lot of hard work and a lot of kind of backing from different people, and just kind of just digging your heels in whenever you get a chance. Because like, at the end of the day, you have to back yourself as well, because if you don't back yourself, like, no one else is going to do it for you. So like, you literally just have to put in the work. And yeah, thankfully, I don't mind a bit of hard work.
I don't want to say it's us, like, folk out of Dublin that are just built a bit different, but
Well, yeah, we'll
we'll
say
leave it there.
country folk.
Us country folk, absolutely, shifting logs and sheep and stuff.
Built
Stuff.
different.
That's it. We are built different. Um, do you feel you belong at this level?
Oh yeah, yeah. I like, as in, do I have imposter syndrome?
Well, whatever way you want to take that.
No, I don't. I don't think I have imposter syndrome. I think the one and only time I've ever had imposter syndrome is with my first cap, because I think back then I probably didn't prep as well as I do now. Now I do an insane amount of prep right now, but that's just because I think different bits work for me. Whereas like I did do prep back then, but it probably wasn't tailored to what I needed to do on the pitch. So when I don't do my prep, I start feeling like nervous and anxious, and like it's like I don't know if I'm ready. And I think being so young and having the first opportunity to run out in Cork with the girls wearing an Irish shirt, I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And I remember one of the girls putting her arm around me, and we literally just walked around the pitch and we did a pitch map, and she was like, all right, if we're on the 22 and we have a line out, what are we going to do? And I was like, XYZ. And she's like, yeah. And then we'd walk up the pitch another bit, and she was like, okay, we're here, what do we do? And I'm like, and like it was very much okay, I know my stuff. It's like, why am I panicking? Because like I'm ready, do you know? And I think that kind of lead into my first cap was the only time I've ever felt it, because now I'm like, I think like my confidence and whatever I've earned is off the back of doing a hell of a lot of hard work. And like you don't get to these levels unless you've done the work to back it up. And yeah, like even just sitting here and being injured, it's like you still have to do the work to get back to that level. And like I could easily come back and be really crap, but like I'm not going to let that happen, because I'm going to do what I need to do to be able to get in a headspace and be able to be in a physical space to be able to try be the best in the world. And as a kid, that's what I wanted. And like it's literally like everything I do is for little Aoife, and I'd like to think little Aoife would be very proud of where I am right now. But like I'm nowhere near the finished product, like I said, and like I've a lot of things that I still want to achieve. So I'm just going to keep working towards those.
I love that you are willing, one, to back yourself, but two, to say you want to be the best in the world.
Mm.
I think to have that confidence and trust in yourself and the awareness of who you are as an individual on the field, but also off the field, what it takes. I love to hear an Irish woman turn around and say, I want to be the best in the world. Because we don't say it. We have some of the best athletes in the world in our country, and we don't back ourselves. So I really hope anyone listening, any young kids out there, girls, boys, whoever, anyone, back yourself to go and do it. It's going to be bloody hard. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work. But if, yeah, you can have the confidence in yourself and kind of know who you are, which I feel at this point you do, but we change over time, you know? Yeah, I just think it's amazing. Honestly, I think just amazing, Aoife. Pretty class, you know? When you're writing a book, I need to buy it.
God, yeah, no. Hopefully, I have a few more chapters left in that book. So,
Oh yeah, no, like we're barely even getting past the intro at this point. uh what excites you about the game at the minute? And like and like what it's gonna hold in the future? Like how do you see it going?
yeah, I think women's rugby is in an extremely kind of like exciting, different sphere at the minute, because that World Cup was groundbreaking. Even just you take our game versus New Zealand in the pool stages, and it was sold out, 30,000 Amex Stadium, and like I'd say 28,000 of them were Irish. Like the place was painted green, and like yeah, it's literally giving me goosebumps think about it. And I didn't even play
Mm.
that game. And like even I went to the World Cup final, and even though it was very very bittersweet, given that the quarterfinal didn't go our way in a interesting fixture, but like I went anyways to the final, and it was insane. Sold out Twickenham, like the English fans absolutely just tearing out Sweet Chariot, and like I was there with my mom, and I was like, God, like this is just insane. And it's translated now, so the PWR in England has started. And I think the stat from the first weekend came out at like I think 180 or something around 180% increase on last year's first game attendance. And like
Wow.
I'm sure the Celtic Challenge in Ireland, Scotland, and Wales will be similar enough to attendance. And like it is just insane, like the amount of eyes that are now on women's rugby. And I think women's rugby offers a lot something like a different product to what the men's is, because to me anyways, what it looks like is the men's is quite a corporate event. You need a lot of money to get tickets, especially if it's in the likes of the Aviva or something. It's usually lads in suits or like guys with a lot of money, and it's not a family event. It's good crack, but it's not the same as what it used to be. Whereas our events are such good crack, because there's stuff outside the stadium to do. It's a family event, so like you can bring your family, you can bring your kids, you can bring your friends. I don't know, and like the female players literally go around the stadium after the game. They'll sign whatever you want, whether it's your forehead or whether it's this book. I don't know, but like whatever you want, like it's done, and like we care about the people that come to our games, and it's very much like a it's just such a good atmosphere, and like the rugby that's being produced is getting really competitive, and you've teams like Canada who in the men's game aren't really heard of, and then all of a sudden they're in a women's final against England, and it's like who knows who could win this. And like I think women's rugby just offers something completely different because we're just not afraid to be ourselves. And you've characters, so like you see the likes of Pollock right now, and I'm sure he's getting a lot of hate for being himself and just being who he wants on the pitch. But at the end of the day, like the women's game is like, oh yeah, like you know, like you've Ellie Kildun and Jess Breach who literally do a cowboy celebration after every try they score, or like you've Asia Hogan Rochester who wears glitter in her hair because she wants to. You know, like that's just what she likes to do. Or like I don't know, you've all of these insane characters. Even Alona Mar, you can't
Yeah.
not mention her, and it's
And
just
I feel if you don't know her at this point, you must live under a
literally,
rock.
yeah, exactly. And like people come to the game to support players, and then they stay because they're like, God, this is actually a really good event. So like it is that kind of thing, and like every event, like every game is just a spectacle, really, and like it is extremely exciting because, like I said, like you've the likes of the British and Irish Lions now coming up in 27 as well, and I can guarantee you every player wants to be the first British and Irish Lions. So it is something that like you kind of have one eye on, but yeah, like there's so much coming up for women's rugby. So like it is an incredibly exciting kind of spear, and I think with Ireland we're quite fortunate because like during the World Cup, like a lot of the lads players, like you could tell they really supported us. So you had the likes of Caelan Doris who is captain in Ireland, and he's just a gent. Like he was in rehab with his shoulder at the time, and he'd be around for chats or that kind of thing, or around the HBC in Blanchardstown, or even the back rows had a meeting and he jumped in and kind of gave bits of advice or like gave how he approaches different situations. And it is that very much of a sharing environment. And like we're like I think personally, if Ireland want to be the best in the world, it has to be from a men's and a women's perspective. Because how can you say you're the best in the world if only one half of you are the best? So to me, it has to come from both sides, and I do reckon Ireland women will get there eventually.
I reckon so also because one, seeing the journey over the past couple of years, like, and how turbulent it's also been for women's rugby in Ireland,
Yeah,
especially at that higher level. And if people don't know what we're talking about, just go and do a little bit of research.
literally.
Yeah, that's all we'll say. Yeah. But I think to see how your team has come together and really now shown a light on what you as individual women can do, but as a collective group of players is amazing. And I think I know we as the hockey team, we have followed you guys. We train literally like probably 100 meters apart,
Yeah,
and we never really interact. But it's such an inspiration, I think, for everyone on the campus, on the sports campus, but in the country to see you guys go and just do what you do. It's honestly amazing and I love it. And anyone listening, find out when your next local women's rugby team, national team, everyone, just go and support women's rugby because it's honestly like if you're not on the bandwagon yet, like you're missing out.
literally.
Honestly.
Yeah, no.
Um what's next on the card for you? So what are you hungry for next once we get back playing?
Yeah, once we get back playing,
Yeah.
yeah, like so I'm over here at Harlequins now, so signed with them post Six Nations. So just yeah, try give back to that team because yeah, ever since I stepped foot in the door, they've been just so welcoming. Like I felt like I've been here forever, to be honest, and like I've probably only been here like what like 5 weeks or something like that. Like even we had a couple of the Kiwi girls over, and one of them asked like, "How long have you been here?" And I'm like, "Oh, like 2 weeks." And she's like, "God, like it seems like you've been here forever." Like, and it's just that thing of like it's literally like a family kind of environment, and like I'm living with some of the girls here, and like it's like a little village out here. There's about 12 of us players just into one spot, and it's brilliant. Like we literally go for coffees, go for food. We just train together, and like it's class. So yeah, probably just give everything I can back to the team and back to the club, and yeah. Then Ireland have Six Nations, and I reckon we owe a few to a couple of different teams, and yeah, I reckon it's chasing bigger goals. I reckon because like we were a bit disappointed with last year's Six Nations in terms of yeah we came third and that kind of thing again, but like we really felt we could have bet France and Belfast and that game got away from us. But yeah, we definitely owe them one now. Like I reckon in the Six Nations, so we'll be playing them over in France, and playing in France is always just it's insane. It's like it's quite hostile, but they literally have like brass bands up in the corner just blaring at music, and they've different kind like their stadium announcer will get different kind of chants going, and like it's always very very loud. But yeah, why not? And do you know what? Like if like Ireland hasn't been at the top of a Six Nations or at the top of a World Cup kind of or top of the world even in a while, but it has been there. And like our goal is to be a successful Ireland, and we had a goal of getting to London in the World Cup, and we didn't do that. We lost to France, and if we would have won, we would have achieved our goal. But at the end of the day, we didn't. And we didn't achieve our on field goals. But it's kind of like you said, like our overarching goal is to inspire the next generation. It's to inspire the country and inspire ourselves and each other. And like we did do that. And you just got to kind of cling on to that because at the end of the day, that's what really matters because it's who can you impact and like impact positively down the road because like who knows who's going to be wearing the jersey next, it could literally be I don't know Josephine from down the road, it could be anyone, and it's what can we do now to give them the best experience when they get into that green jersey.
I could not agree more. Simple as that. Amen. Exclamation mark. There it is. Aoife, honestly, like you're amazing to listen to. Like I could literally sit here all day, and we don't. Neither of us have the time to do that because both of us has to get back to rehabbing. But anywho, I genuinely think that what you're amazing. I knew that just from watching you, but to be able to act in this way and actually hear you, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I really hope everyone listening can take a million things away from this because there definitely is. But I think that your outlook on you have to work hard, do it for yourself, and have confidence in yourself. Ultimately, like you put yourself at the center of everything, which you have to do in a team environment. You need to be the best version of yourself. And yeah, Jesus, I'm waffling now because honestly, like, yeah, you're amazing, Aoife. Honestly, amazing.
Thank you very much. Gone all red now.
I know this is like classic Irish. It's like, now how do I say this? Now, no, but no, I like being deadly serious. I really do hope that um people can take away just the simple messages that you're sharing with us, and I think the listeners appreciate you even more hearing more about your journey, who you are on and off the pitch, and I think that's so important. And thank you for sharing that because it's not every time you get to hear just like an Irish legend just casually.
No, definitely I wouldn't class myself in the Irish legend bracket yet. Anyways,
I'm putting you there.
no, I've
Simple as
definitely
that.
to do. I'm only 22. I have a lot more to do yet.
We'll add it to the book. This can be like the chapter 1 Irish legend incoming. We'll leave it there. But lads, if you love this episode with Aoife, make sure to go follow her, stay up to date with her journey at Harlequins, and also when she's going to be playing next in a lovely green jersey. Can't wait to see it. But while you're at it, give us a wee follow and subscribe on the pod. Let us know what you loved, and we'll see you in the next one.